The next session, ladies and gentlemen, is a presentation. We'd once again request all of you to settle down, take your seats immediately, before which I would also once again like to thank all of our partners, our gold partners, ladies and gentlemen, in Solutions Global, UB, Findi, DCB Bank, and Cash Free Payments. And just as an announcement, we all are aware that one of the biggest highlights is the Global Fintech Awards that is happening tomorrow at 6 p.m. in Jasmine 3. That's an evening dedicated to honoring excellence and innovation in the industry. So do mark your calendars. And with that, let's move forward to the presentation, ladies and gentlemen, where wealth meets wealth. So with that, let's invite on stage the Executive Director of International Financial Services Centers Authority. Ladies and gentlemen, could we have a round of applause as I invite Dr. Dipesh Shah onto the stage, please.
Good evening, everyone. We started the day with the launch of the foreign currency local settlement, and we are ending the day with the GIFT City. So today I think a lot of discussions around the GIFT City, and I'm sure you have the energy to stay in the room for this last 10 minutes of quick understanding of where GIFT is headed towards, what is happening, and what is the fintechs doing into GIFT City and how they are growing very rapidly. I think it's an important slide, but before that, I would like to highlight that what the Global Fintech Festival is doing. The similar is what the GIFT City is trying to achieve in terms of the scale and size. I think I've seen the Global Fintech Festival in their earlier days, and I've also seen GIFT in the earlier days of 2008 when we started the whole concept of GIFT as a financial center. And believe me, friends, I think just like what happens into a new project, everybody always has doubts in their mind. They always ask you whether this is really possible. And this is India, this is not Singapore, this is not London, this is not Dubai, that you are thinking of creating a global financial hub into India. And with those concepts and those doubts in mind, probably the GIFT started with the very clear vision of the Honorable Prime Minister, being the Chief Minister of the state at that time, to create a financial center which will probably help house Indian firms and Indian global startups into India rather than bringing them or taking away them to other financial centers. So we have seen the journey of each institution across India growing very rapidly, but at the same time we're forced to go outside of India to do India international business. I think that is what this slide represents. You had every reason to go out to do India financial business, India international business more efficiently from outside. And probably now is the time that we are thinking that why I need to go out, why can't I be within India and do India international business more efficiently. And this is what it is representing. Somebody wanted an aircraft on lease, you went to Dublin. Somebody wanted a ship on lease, people went to Dubai, and probably so on and so forth. If you want to create a fund, you went to Mauritius. And to some of the consultants in the room, I think they really handholded people to go out and do India business more efficiently from outside rather than from India. But believe me, friends, now those are the same consultants which are saying GIFT is better than Mauritius, Singapore, Dubai, or any other financial center. So probably I think we are rethinking of the way the international financial services can be delivered sitting in India. And that's why we say that this is an important slide for us to understand what is the potential of GIFT City. Every business, every India dollar business which has gone out has a potential to be navigated within the GIFT City ecosystem. And probably that is the potential of the people sitting in this room to create fintech innovations for bringing those business back into India. In terms of objectives, I think we set ourselves a very clear objectives. Our objectives are very clear. How do we onshore what has gone offshore? So to start with, the businesses which should have been in India dollar business should have been brought back now into GIFT. And that's the attempt which has been made in last 4 to 5 years. If you have seen the numbers and which were just spoken, those 1,000+ entities is what we have seen transited from, there were many of them outside coming back into GIFT to do India dollar business more efficiently. And now as they started doing this business more efficiently, they are thinking, why only India? Why can't I do South Asian region business sitting in GIFT? And that is probably how we are seeing the journey evolving for GIFT now. Obviously, this has to become a gateway for a financial center, both inbound and outbound. If we can create an inbound and outbound gateway through GIFT, I think we'll be able to achieve the capital requirements of India and probably help the high net worth individuals to also invest outside through GIFT City. Also to create a very prominent niche areas in the areas like aircraft leasing, ship leasing, and many fintech innovations, which can be brought into the GIFT more prominently than what we were doing previously. And last but not the least, I think you go to any financial center. Probably the one person that hits your mind and eyes is an Indian working there. And that is true for any financial center. I'm not talking of the financial centers in London or Singapore. Even if you go to Kazakhstan, Astana, you will find Indians working there. So I think the brains which are developed into India have enough understanding of how to operate the financial centers. It was only the opportunity which was lacking. And that's what probably GIFT is now addressing through this new financial center. The journey has been quite remarkable, as I said. We started with probably as a disbelief that something like this can be done in India, and probably to a belief that yes, if Dubai has an international financial center, if Abu Dhabi in 2015 can create a financial center, why can't India create its own financial center? And probably we have seen more and more people started believing that is possible to create this financial center in India, rather than going outside and working for other financial centers. And the journey, as I said, from 2013 to 25, while it's almost 12 years now, but what we have seen in last 5 years, and you can see in 2020 when the government really brought in the regulatory change of having its own unified financial regulator into the system, I think the last 5 years journey has really seen the GIFT coming up to the edge where people are saying, I want to now step in and do dollar business more efficiently through GIFT. But for some of you, probably who are for the first time in the room and probably want to understand this more from your business perspective, I think, see, this is what has India now created. India has created two systems now. If you are into a rupee business, if you are into a local business, you are into a third column, which is the domestic India business, which is purely rupee business. But if you want to do India dollar business, and you want to be outside of the foreign exchange law of India, you come into the middle column, which is the GIFT International Financial Center, where under the foreign exchange law of India, you are outside India. This is a big change because we don't have full capital account convertibility, and we needed a center which helps us to become a non-resident within the Indian ecosystem. And that's where we are saying now the onshore, what has been offshore, has become possible. And you can transact in any convertible 15 foreign currency. It's not that you could transact only in dollar or in pound. You can transact in 15 convertible foreign currencies when you are in GIFT. But probably the only currency that you can't transact sitting in GIFT is Indian rupee. You can't do India rupee business sitting in GIFT. And probably this also answers to some of your questions in your mind, that people are going to GIFT to take a tax advantage. You can't go to GIFT to take tax advantage for India business, because that is simply not allowed. But when you were going to Dubai and when you were going to Singapore to do India dollar business, is what you can now come into GIFT and do for India. So this really changes the perspective of how the whole businesses were going out and is now coming back. The government also provided us a tax holiday. I think for financial services, and believe me friends, I've been in GIFT since 2008, the single most factor that I have heard with the financial institutions as to why you are outside was tax. They were saying, you go to Dubai, you get 50 years no tax. You go to Abu Dhabi, there is no tax for 50 years. You go to Labwan, Malaysia, 3%. You go to Hong Kong, there maybe 10, 15%. And Singapore, for many of your international business, no tax. So they were always saying that, look, if you don't give us the tax parity, it was very difficult for us to come back. What government had now done is out of 10 years, there's no tax on the business profits that you earn in GIFT, which means it gives you a clear pathway of developing your India international business more efficiently from a tax perspective also in GIFT. And from the Indian law, while we are India, the financial center is in India, but there are several carve-outs offered when you operate from that. For example, under the Companies Act, almost 50 to 60 section of Indian Companies Act don't apply to you when you operate from GIFT City, which is very different the way it operates when you are in a domestic India. And last but not the least, probably you have now one single unified regulator operating that zone, which means you're not going to 4 different regulators for approval. You're just coming to one regulator for your approvals. And what has GIFT done now is what this slide represents. You have now almost 35 plus business segments operating in GIFT. So you can be in any of this segment and you can be in GIFT to do your India dollar business, or you can do global dollar business or global foreign currency business, all through this from GIFT City. So from a bank to a capital market to an insurance entity to a wealth manager to an alternate investment funds, even finance companies, you have aircraft leasing, ship leasing, you name it, probably an activity in a financial and technology side, they are all operating from GIFT City now. So the landscape has really broadened up. My request to all of you would be to examine this more in detail from your own business perspective and see what is that you are doing outside. Can that be brought into India? Can that be brought into GIFT more efficiently? Because one, the cost of operation, as I was in Abu Dhabi 2 weeks back, I was asking the rentals. They are 720 rupees per square feet in Indian rupees per square feet per month rental versus 100 rupees per square feet, 120 rupees per square feet per month rental in GIFT City. This is the cost, type of the cost that we are looking at when you are operating in GIFT. And then you add manpower cost, and then you add the all other cost. I think your value proposition to operate from India and from your own financial center is much more appealing now. And that's how we have seen large number of global in-house centers like Bank of America runs a huge capability center in GIFT. And you have players like Infosys, Wipro and Cognizant running the TechFin centers in GIFT now. And several fintech firms, probably some of the finest fintech firms reducing the cross-border payment solutions, are now present in GIFT. For example, players like GlomoPay, they have entered into GIFT to reduce the cost of transfer from outside into India by at least 80%. So this type of innovations are happening for the firms coming into the GIFT for India and for the global businesses. What is the key highlight? I think we are, as I said, we are more than 1,000 registrations in GIFT now. And probably you are seeing more and more firms now setting up their bases in GIFT versus outside. We are seeing $88 billion of monthly turnover on what we normally call as a GIFT Nifty, which runs in almost 22 to 23 hours a day into the GIFT City now. And we have also seen almost $94 billion of banking asset size. Probably this is the quarter which ended in September. As the data will come in, we would have by now crossed $100 billion in banking asset size. More and more Indian corporates are availing their external commercial borrowing through GIFT City. In fact, as we speak, 40% of India's ECB now comes from GIFT into India. And this was 0% before the GIFT got started, because everything we were borrowing from outside. And this is probably the reason why so many businesses are finding it much more conducive to operate very efficiently. We have almost 194 fund managers and almost 290 plus funds now registered in GIFT. They've got commitment of close to $24 billion, out of which they've already invested $11 billion from GIFT. And of that 11 billion, 8 billion has already gone into India for investments, and 3 billion sitting in GIFT has gone outside for investments. Now this is another change, that you are using your own center instead of Mauritius for investing into India. You are also using GIFT for investing outside of India. And that's why some of the funds, like for example, we have licensed Nuama, Edelweiss and several others, the DSP moderator who was here, they're all funds are launching funds to invest outside through GIFT City. And that again is becoming an important piece for a third-party managers to come and operate from GIFT. And you've seen aircraft leasing. which was probably not existence in India before. We have almost 285 assets leased into India through GIFT City now. Again, a new avenue for some of the aircraft leasing companies to look at, but there's a large scope sitting on this activities. My last slide, because many times people ask us that, what is the future roadmap? Where we are headed towards? What's going to happen in future? How we are going to see the gift? And I think the important pillars which Chairman IFFCA just highlighted, there are 5 important pillars that India is headed towards. I think India at 2047, we will be a size of $30 to $35 trillion economy. So what the GIFT can do, what the IFFC can do is probably bridge the capital gap. And how we can bridge that, and this is potential. Don't hold us for numbers, because we are projecting the potential that the GIFT has. The potential is that you can have almost 150 to $200 billion which can actually flow into India through GIFT City, where we are already almost touching 90 to $100 billion in banking asset size itself. We also have a globally competitive and sustainable financial market, and the GIFT can help India become self-reliant in terms of this sustainable finance requirements. And what we are seeing is probably a competitive regime and probably a future which helps to create a world-class ship leasing and aircraft leasing ecosystem. We will also see huge amount of ease of doing business in every segment we have seen in last 10 years, and through a financial center we are also trying to achieve the same. And last but not the least, I think the leadership in the digital financial infrastructure in innovation, which we are seeing at the GFF today, is probably a testimony that GFF and GIFT, if we really put together in terms of what the scale and size India can achieve, is going to be a remarkable journey. I think we are sure with the regulation, as Chairman spoke about, the tokenization, and also how to create new avenues for the fintechs to flourish through GIFT City, probably will be the roadmap deciding and helping us to reach to an ultimate goal of India at 2047, fully developed in terms of its own self-reliant financial ecosystem. So thank you, friends, for this quick presentation on what is happening in GIFT, where we are headed towards. I will urge today through this platform, if you have not visited GIFT, probably you should come. Seeing is believing. You will come and see and experience as to how this financial vibrancy is now bringing so many ecosystem players together. And also at the same time, I will also urge, come up with new ideas, because you have a regulator sitting there who is ready to listen to you, who is ready to implement some of your thought processes which probably are not happening in India or probably not happening in many parts of the world, but you want to innovate those into a new sandbox through GIFT City. So you are welcome to the GIFT City, which is India's innovation and TechFin and Fintech city. As we always say, and I'll end with this small story which I always tell, that GIFT itself is India's only Fintech city. If you really unfold the full form, which is the Gujarat International Finance Tech City, that's the only Fintech city to represent within the ecosystem. This was named not in 2020 or 2025. This was named as GIFT in 2007, when the Honorable Prime Minister, being the Chief Minister of the state, told us that I'll call this GIFT. You please figure out the full form. And so we could only go up to Gujarat International Finance, and he ended up saying that in future finance will not be able to operate without technology. That's why the Fintech, and that's why the Global Fintech Festival, as I say, is an absolute synergy in what all of us are trying to achieve. Thank you, friends.